everybody, and welcome to yet another chapter of the Manga Melee podcast. It's me, your boy, Jay, here, joined as always by my beautiful co-host, Twitterless Parf.
Dog,
How are we doing this week, Parf?
that was beautiful. That was beautiful. I am so
You're
happy to
beautiful.
be here. I'm
Dude, me too.
so happy to be here. Big week.
We're in
Big
high
week.
spirits this week for good reason.
Yeah.
Um, you know, ignoring other things going on in the world as to not date our
Yes.
podcast. Uh, we had some big news this week that we're gonna get to in just a second. But first, Parf, tell me what did you do this week, like in a non-manga way? What's like your bright spot for the week that's not related to manga?
Not related to manga. I I broke a chair that really fucked my back up.
Nice.
Um,
That's always satisfying.
yeah, no, I had to break it, and I figured I would try to have some fun with it, and I really hurt my back. And then I also started watching Breaking Bad again.
Nice. Are you
So
watching Better Call Saul?
So I considered watching that before I rewatched Breaking Bad, but I didn't. So what I'm planning on doing was finish rewatching Breaking Bad, El Camino. I
Mm.
haven't seen that, and then Better Call
El
Saul.
Camino is solid. I watched it like I'm pretty sure the first day it came out because I don't know what's happened, but like every time I always end up either meeting or being in relationships with people who have not seen Breaking Bad. So I've gone through Breaking Bad like 4 or 5 times with different people in my life. And El
It's
Camino came out like right after I did that at some
mhm.
point in my life. So we just watched it, and you know what? Honestly, pretty solid. Maybe not exactly what a lot of people might want out
That's
of
what
a
I've heard. Yeah.
Breaking Bad sequel, but I liked it a lot. It's a good character arc for Jesse,
Mhm.
so it was pretty sick. I definitely like that, and I've heard great things about Better Call Saul. I've only seen like one season of it though. I really like. I'm slacking on that super bad.
Yeah. I've only seen episodes here and there.
Yeah,
But enough
but
about
I mean,
that. What
I'm
have you
always
been
up
up
for
to?
more Bob Odenkirk and Saul in general. The guy's excellent.
What have you been up to, Jay?
Uh, honestly, last week was kind of like terrible for me. My dog got like really sick
Nice.
out of
Yeah.
nowhere for
I
some
saw that.
anaphylactic shock. So we had to take her to the hospital, and it was looking really kind of dire for a second. But I'm happy to report that she is doing a lot better.
Always good news.
He actually took her last pill today, so she's off of her pill regimen for that, and she's pretty much in high spirits, being her usual, lack of a personal space bubble self. She's very much
Always
all
happy
up
to hear
on
that.
me again. Yeah, so it's one of those things where I'm happy that she's back
Yeah, yeah.
because it's something you complain about pets and people that annoy you until something happens to
Mm,
them and you're like, man, you should appreciate what you have while it's around.
I agree.
So,
That was
not to
beautiful.
get all deep
It was beautiful.
5 minutes into the Manga Melee podcast.
No, it
So,
was
yeah,
perfect.
honestly, busy week.
Hmm.
Had a lot on my plate, which is why I'm glad that this week came. And it's been a good week for manga and
It
anime
really
news.
has.
And I think we would be remiss to not start off by welcoming back the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest mangaka of all time.
I fully
He,
agree.
so many people owe their favorites to this man.
Hmm.
Innovative power systems, basically set up the group dynamics of shonen as we know it today in the four-man squad with Yu Yu Hakusho. I just gotta say, welcome back to motherfucking Tagashi, man. Holy
Oh,
shit. This is where if I was Lin, I would have like a cheering sound effect or something. Yoshihiro Tagashi, man, came back on Twitter, did
never
not
thought I'd see it.
wasn't confirmed at first, but instantly got like
Yep.
800,000
Yep.
followers in the first few hours just from rumors alone. Gets followed by TCB Scans and Yusuke Murata, the mangaka behind One Punch Man, which
Yep.
adds more fuel to the fire.
Yep.
Eventually, he just posts a single corner of a frame that has the word six in it
Yep.
with a tweet that essentially says, "For now, there are just four more left," implying if it is Togashi, we'll get at least 10
Yep.
chapters of Hunter x Hunter,
Yep.
which
Yep.
is
Yep. Yep.
insane. And then, finally, Murata comes out and basically soft confirms that it is Togashi, and then it gets full confirmed by Weekly Shonen Jump that it is Togashi, and his popularity skyrockets on Twitter. He is now the second most followed person on Twitter at the moment. That is absolute, or not second most followed
Yeah.
person, second most followed
Mangaka.
mangaka.
Yeah. I was about to,
Sorry,
yeah.
that is ridiculous. He's got. Let me check. He was at 1.1 million
Last I checked, it was
last time I
1.8.
checked. I
I could
think.
be wrong.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody's tweeting about him, so it's hard to find him. I'm pretty sure he's about. The only person he has left to pass up is Horikoshi. That's it.
Which I hope he does.
He is at 1 point. As of 13 hours ago, he was at 1.9 million.
Beautiful. I just realized you're wearing a Hunter x Hunter shirt.
Yeah, dude.
What a beautiful setup there.
I had to. There is no other choice, and all the corporate Twitters are just like hopping on
Yeah.
his
Everybody's
his
dick
every
riding this week.
post.
Everybody's dick riding this week.
He is at 2 million followers now, so he has to get 200,000 or 300,000 more, and he will pass up.
I see that happening easily.
Horikoshi. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I there's not a doubt in my mind.
I mean,
that
he's
that
the
would
GOAT.
happen. Yeah. So, I'm super hyped for that. Honestly, people have been wondering. Would you rather that he does it himself, Parf, or would you want him to have like a assistant or something? Because there's been some rumors swirling around that Murata might be helping him out with it.
I want him to have an assistant because I, as much as I want Hunter x Hunter to be finished, I want him to be in good health first and foremost because
that was honestly a big takeaway of him posting all that. Was I was so happy
it's
that he is healthy enough to be able to draw again.
I never thought I would see it. I'm gonna be honest. I started to lose hope.
People
so
honestly,
nice.
and this is a good time to just address this aspect of the anime manga community. Fans, you aren't entitled to a story
aren't.
being continued or ended. Like, you are. It isn't okay to call a mangaka lazy because they want to take a break after working 20 years of their life or something like that.
Like producing a chapter almost.
Stop
every
being
week.
an entitled piece of shit. Some people, like comic artists, some of them don't even do like more than 3 pages a week.
Yep.
Mangaka are doing like 20 to 30 pages every single week of high quality. Writing the story as well, mind you,
Which is
for
insane.
a lot of them anyway. And Tagashi, like, he is disabled.
Yep.
Like he has horrific back pain that causes him to live a lesser quality of life compared to you or me. Like, think about the worst back pain you have ever had in your life from like shoveling snow or lifting weights or anything like that, and then just multiply that times like 100 easily from
I
what
would
he's
say
described.
100
Like
easily.
talking about wanting to go to the hospital, needing to go to the hospital, but not being able to because he can't move from the pain being so great. So honestly, like, whenever enjoy what we have now, and you know what? If it doesn't continue, lay off the fucking jokes because they're not funny.
No,
They got old real fucking fast. And you know what? Everybody was keen to make, oh, Miura is playing Idol Masters jokes until last year when he fucking died from work-related stress.
The stress mangakas go through is just incredible.
The quality
and
of life for them is garbage.
they're
a lot
not
of the
getting
time.
like so they're like you wouldn't like people probably think oh just rolling in like money, and I'm sure he's probably more well off than you and me, obviously.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
they're not making that much compared to how popular works are.
And then your fans will
Yeah.
scrutinize you for whatever the fuck you spend your money on. God forbid you spend it on a video game or a vacation or something.
So it's just nice to hear that he's back and doing something he enjoys and he's healthy enough to do it.
Yeah, 100%. I just had to get that off my
No,
chest
no, it
because
was you were fully in
there's
the
so
right.
many people who just are complete clowns about the
I just
situation.
I just love how like it happens and like everybody's like, yeah, he's back, and immediately there's always gonna be those people like, oh, we're all Hunter fans now. Oh wow, y'all all riding a six. Like, dude, can we not just be happy? Can we not just be
Yeah,
happy about something?
exactly.
Uh,
And I don't know, Hunter x Hunter Bleach, I feel like whenever Bleach got like back into the
mhm.
swing when they announced the anime was coming back and they had the new chapter, I feel like legitimately there were people who hopped on because I
Oh no, I
distinctly remember
agree,
people hating on Thousand Year Blood War when it
dude.
was dropping. And now everyone acts like, oh, Kubo writes peak fiction. Kubo has the best fights in story in manga or whatever. And it's like, I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I like Bleach, but
I've never
let's
seen
not
it.
let's not over exaggerate it. Sometimes, you know, it does have some of the best like fights and transformations in manga. I'll give it that. But some of there's some issues with it. Just like I have issues with all the big three in certain ways, to be
I mean,
honest.
as you should.
Yeah. So we had to talk about
It's just
Tagashi
the best
first
news,
because
yeah.
that is what dominated the news
Mm.
cycle this week, honestly. And now I want to talk. I'm gonna bring us down a little bit with something that is a little bit more sad, a little bit more somber going on in Weekly Shonen Jump. Unfortunately, in the next issue of Weekly Shonen Jump, I can't do it, Parf. You say it. You say it, Parf. I got it.
Dude, it's actually sad because I think it's gas. Ayashimon is getting axed.
They let Earthchild
they
live.
let they let P live. It's
Insane.
I don't, cause like honestly I reread chapter one in preparation for today, and like honestly I think that first chapter is so just it's like funny and just great art, writing, and everything. Like he's like, I want to be like Jotaro, Goku. I forget the third guy he says.
Oh yeah,
Like
I think he said like Kinshiro from
yeah,
Fist of the North Star or
but
something like
like
that. He had so many
how do you
cosigns, bro.
how do you not like that? Like Japan just not fucking
Japan
with
just
it.
doesn't.
They
Japan
just
doesn't
not
like
fucking with
characters
it.
like that. That was the issue. Ayashimon, I think,
They just not fucking with the characters like
honestly,
that.
Ayashimon was pretty well liked in the West.
I like it a
But
lot.
like we've said before, the West does not matter when it comes to what stays in Shonen Jump. Honestly, if you want, I'm not here till I'm not saying don't if you're Western you shouldn't care about Shonen Jump. Obviously you should. It comes out
Yeah.
with some really good series. But I think what was the one? Weekly Shonen magazine, the
Yep.
one that Attack on Titan was in, the one
That's a
that
good one.
Kaguya-sama is
Mm-hmm.
in. They actually came out with a interview. Two of the higher ups came out with an interview recently, and they talked a lot about the Western manga market and how they felt like Attack on Titan kind of revitalized it, which I don't necessarily disagree with, mind
I
you.
wouldn't
Actually,
disagree either.
I think it did. Besides for like old heads who were maybe reading like
Old
One
heads.
Piece or something like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
beforehand. Um, yeah. So I think Weekly Shonen Magazine, we might see them start to push more series that are popular in the West because I know they want to focus a bit on developing their own comics in the West, like publishing, like actually doing the
Mm-hmm.
publishing for themselves and whatnot. But man, they talk. You could play a drinking game with how much they mention Attack on Titan in that interview. You would be gone.
Listen, you
You'd
got
be
you got to put your
gone.
best product first.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame them, but
Yeah.
dang, like it's funny to think about like where that magazine would like what would they have pushed if Attack on Titan didn't blow up? Like would they be pushing like
The only one I can think of is Kaguya-sama.
I mean, what do they even I guess they have like what, Rent a Girlfriend or
Yeah,
something like that, or they would have tried to push like Eden Zero or something.
Jesus.
Seven Deadly Sins. Oh, that would
No,
have been a tragedy.
I'm good.
Yeah, I don't. No hate if you like Seven Deadly
Yeah,
Sins.
no,
That
no.
character is
Hey,
just
it's
too.
just
The main character is just too much of a sex pest for me
yeah.
personally.
No, I fully agree.
Yeah. Uh, Bon or Bam or whatever his name
Bond, I
is
think.
is cool though. I've liked what I've seen of him. So yeah, Ayashimon sadly is going to be over with in the next chapter of Weekly Shonen Jump. It is looks like we're going to get two new series in Weekly Shonen Jump though. One is a new series called Aliens Area by Naba Fusai rather. Um, it is basically described as like an intergalactic sort of weird alien adventure. So I'm pretty excited for that actually. I think we really don't have a lot of space
No, we really
manga in
don't.
the magazine at the moment. So that'll be a nice change of pace. Earthshroud is kind of spacey, but not really. I don't know. Something I feel like if we had something kind of like Eden Zero in the magazine, it would be sick,
I agree. I
honestly.
agree. I think it's a
Um,
good market to tap on. I
and then we have another new series starting based off of a one shot called Ruri Dragon, which is about a teenage girl who one day wakes up with horns and then basically learns that her father is a dragon. And it's her going through like it's I haven't
it's
read the one
interesting.
shot yet, so I can't truly speak on it. But from what people described, I was kind of getting like it reminded me it like basically classic coming of age
Okay, yeah,
sort of stuff, something like
yeah,
Turning
yeah.
Red or something like that, you know,
Hmm.
dealing with life and teenage stuff while going through these awkward physical transformations, whether they be puberty or just turning into an actual dragon. Um, the main character of this is designed pretty well. The voice comic for the one shot has been viewed well over 1 million times. So it would
It's
not
good news.
surprise me to see Ruri in the upper end of the TOC once this starts publishing. Gets
Probably
in
will
the
be.
swing
Yeah.
of things. I don't know how US shonen fans are going to feel about it. I feel like people will be of either one of two minds, and it really depends on how actiony it is. Because if it's not that actiony, then a lot of the battle shonen bros will probably be mad that like Ayashimon
Yeah.
got axed apparently for this, especially if Aliens area isn't great. And
It's
then you
nice
could
to.
have like your other shonen fans who like stuff like My Dress Up Darling or Blue
Yeah.
Box or something like that, who if it's not actiony, they'll probably like it, or they might like it even if it is actiony. But excuse me,
It will be
sorry.
interesting to see how the fan base receives
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna read that one shot
Hmm.
tonight for
Yeah.
sure. Actually, I should have done it last night, but it was just a super busy night at work, honestly, and I had to do stuff after and yada yada yada. No fun.
No fun. Wow.
Um, and other weekly Shonen Jump news. We got Akane Banashi being recommended by Ichiro Oda, the mangaka of
Big.
One Piece.
Big.
Have you read this yet, Parf?
I said I would read more of it, and I forgot to this week. But
You need to,
I've read
man.
2 chapters now.
This is some heat.
I
It got a
pro-
color page again.
I promise I'll get.
It's gotten like 3 color pages and like 12
That is big.
chapters or
That is
something
big.
like
I'll admit
that.
that.
They're and dude. So obviously, unless you can find like a subtitled version of this, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. There's a voice comic of
Hmm.
it, and the daughter and dad in the voice comic, like in the comic, are voiced by two voice actors who are also a father and daughter, and it's fucking
That's
awesome.
actually beautiful.
Yeah, I For those of you who don't know about Akane Banashi, it is a Rakugo manga talking about a traditional form of Japanese storytelling with what I can only describe as a Vinland Saga-esque revenge story attached to it. I highly recommend it. Uh, I will not elaborate further. Go read it. I'm done. I'm done asking. Read it.
I'm done
Uh,
asking.
it's so good, honestly. The art style is fantastic. Main character, she's just like a complete hoot. Uh, the next challenge she's facing is actually Parf. You'll enjoy this. She has to win a amateur Rakugo competition
I love
by
that.
telling the story of a Jugamo, which you might know from Gintama.
I do. I started laughing because of it because one of my favorite things is the fucking monkey named after that story.
Yeah, so Jugamo is basically it's like trying to win a stand-up comedy
Yeah,
competition with a "Why did the chicken cross the road" joke.
basically.
Jugamo is about a boy who gets named, and basically a woman is going to give birth to a son, and she goes to a fortune teller or the equivalent of something like that, and asks for like names that can bless him. And for each one, she's like, "Oh, that's great, just add it." And she keeps adding and adding
Yep.
and adding and adding it until he has a name that is like I can't. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it because the entire point of it is that you're supposed to say it incredibly fast with a good rhythm, so it actually
Yep.
sounds like a name. And if you don't, it just sounds like you're making
Hmm.
sounds. If you haven't seen it, either go look up the Gintama bit about Jugamo, or go look up the
Uh,
Full Metal
I was about to
Alchemist
say Full Metal
Brotherhood
has one
bit
about it.
about it, where Führer Bradley asks Scar what his name is, and he gives Jugamo,
Yeah.
and Bradley's like, "Wow, my name is also Jugamo," and they do the whole thing like
Yep.
four times. It's great. Um, yeah, so she's doing that in the competition, and obviously in a Rakugo competition, being judged by
Yeah.
other Rakugo, that is everybody knows that, so it's hard to get a good laugh out of the audience. Um, I'm really excited to see how she does that. They've been
I
introducing
I'm
the
now
main
excited too.
cast as well, like her seniors, I guess you could say, senpais, one
Yeah.
might call them, and they're all really solid as well. We just got introduced to a guy who kind of has like a split personality whenever he gets on stage. Like he's a very like shy and timid person in real life, but on stage he's like very sexy and suave. And
Love that.
it's interesting. Honestly, I've been really enjoying it. Really been getting very curious about Rakugo from it.
About to start reading it.
Okay, yeah, like I recommend it for even people who are more action fans, like our boy Lynn. Shout out our boy Lynn. Definitely recommend Akane Banashi. Hell yeah. And I'm glad it's getting the cosign from Oda because that means maybe some One Piece bros will go and
Oh,
check that
definitely.
out.
They definitely will. That Oda's word is biblical for them.
That's true. Man, yeah. Thinking about how I've seen people just completely twist like his answers and letters and
Dude,
stuff
I
like
love
that.
that
You're
shit.
completely right. It
Like
is actually very similar to the Bible.
Luffy, Luffy ate this meat in this chapter. This is foreshadowing to Luffy eating Kaido. Like, okay,
Yeah.
hey, I love them.
That's a man. We gotta we should we're gonna talk about One Piece
Yeah,
later because I've been seeing some drama and I need to be filled in on it. Honestly. Let's see. Kaguya-sama hit 18 million 18
course.
million copies, not chapters.
Yeah,
Jesus
that'd be
Christ.
big. That'd be
That's
big.
yeah. Um yeah, 18 million copies currently in its last manga arc. I really want to check this out. I've been loving Oshinoko, which is by
um,
the same
gas,
artist, I
absolute
believe.
gas. It is. It
Maybe
is.
also the same creator or
I.
writer.
It's definitely the
I
same
know it's
artist.
the
I don't
same
know if
artist
it's
for
the
a
same
fact. I
writer.
don't know if
I.
it's
It might
if
be,
yeah.
but
Uh
it's just such a gas story. This
I heard the
podcast is pro
third season of
Oshinoko.
the anime is insane, actually, like
It has been.
insanely
It
good.
has been. It has been. One of the endings to one of the episodes is absolutely insane.
I've actually heard that Kaguya-sama is an example of an anime that people would describe as surpassing the source material? How would
See,
I
here's the
don't know
thing.
if
I don't know because I haven't read Kaguya-sama. I read so like I read like the first volume because I got it and then that's it. So
so. I think that Kaguya-sama is going to be on my list,
mm,
like my plan to read or plan to watch for sure, and then maybe I'll read it from
yeah.
there, depending on how long it takes. Because I believe it has at least 2 seasons left in it, is what people have told me.
Yeah, that's
That
what
they
I've heard
feel
too.
like 2 seasons. So, are they 2 core seasons, or do you think they mean like 1 core?
I'm trying to remember. Probably two
Or
core.
being 12 episode parts for a season for those of you
Um,
who might not be familiar with
yeah.
the terms. I think I think they are 12 yeah, they're 12
Yeah, they're
episodes because
12.
I
Yeah,
remember
sorry.
they
So they're
got
12. They're definitely 12.
nominated for Watch Club.
They're 12.
Um which by the way, if you ever want to hear me talk about anime like that I've watched in the past couple weeks, go watch me on What Do You Say Anime's Anime Watch Club, a bi-weekly watch club where we discuss anime movies and shit. We're watching Fooly Cooly this week.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Um so we can go ahead and move on to the charts for this week. Honestly, really good charts this week for the
Curious.
Oricon. For those of you not in the know, Oricon measures the individual volumes sold for popular series and puts them
Yeah.
into a handy dandy chart that we can use to tell what sold the
Mm-hmm.
most this week. So, for this week, we got starting at number 10, we got a new entry called In the Clear Moonlit Dusk, which sounds like pretty cool, honestly. I'm looking it up on Kodansha right now. It is by Mika Yamamori. Yoi Takiguchi has long legs, a deep voice, and a handsome face. In other words, Yoi is such, or Yoi maybe actually. Yoi is such a good-looking guy that most people don't notice or care that she is in fact a girl. Indeed, she's had the nickname Prince as long as she can remember. That is, until she met Ichimura Senpai, the only person who's really seemed to see her for herself. To her, to her surprise, she's not sure how to handle this new relationship, especially when her newfound friend is a prince himself, and a guy prince at that. The story of two high school princes starts here. This honestly sounds pretty cool, honestly. This sounds good. This,
It does sound good. It does sound good.
I'm fully in, like, this sounds like it would play with, like, gender
Yeah.
roles and
Oh, for
identity
sure.
stuff in a really neat way, which
I'm all for that.
I'm all for that,
Yeah.
especially after stuff like Boys Run the Riot has
Mm-hmm.
released, as well as, you know, I guess sort of classic stuff like Ranma would even kind of
I would
go
agree
into
with
that.
that. I would agree with that.
But to see it like in the top 10 of Oricon and stuff, like
That's.
that's good for a new series
Mm,
or newer series,
yeah,
I
yeah,
should
yeah.
say, because I haven't seen this in the charts at all, and I've been following for a year or so. Um, I'm really excited. I'm gonna. This is gonna be added to my plan to read list. I'm gonna check
What
this
was it
out.
again?
It's called In the Clear Moonlit Dusk.
I'll probably get into that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is an. You can check that on the Kodansha website, I believe. If anybody wants to check that out, it has 71 pages in the first one. It has like 3 volumes. It looks like. Yeah, it's got 3 volumes so far. Looks pretty good. It's got that classic sort of shojo art style, which is
Love
interesting
that.
because it's a shonen. Um, yeah, awesome. Always happy to see a new face on the charts.
Agreed.
This next one, eh, whatever. I could take it or leave it. We got Rent a Girlfriend coming in
Alright.
at number 9. Oh, by the way, the last one sold 61,854
Mm-hmm.
copies. We got Rent a Girlfriend coming in at 62,014 copies. This is a really slow week for everything but, like, the top 3, by
Yeah.
the way. And even the top 3 are kind of slow. Um, at number 8, we got My Hero Academia, still in the. Basically, it's from the new volume, I
Yeah.
would assume, mostly
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people who haven't gotten it, getting
Mm.
it, keeping it in the top 10. And then we got Jujutsu Kaisen at number 7 with
Is that a drop?
79,942. Yeah, it's a pretty big drop for JJK, honestly. I think we're just kind of in like a bit of a lull right
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
now. Not lullness, like lull when it comes to terms of like
Yeah,
print
sale.
and
Yeah.
promo is what I'll say,
Hmm.
because the chapters coming out right now for JJK are heat.
Absolute
Um,
gas.
I don't know if you saw the tech spoilers for the next
I did.
chapter.
I did.
They're insane. We'll go over them later. We'll give a good spoiler warning for those of you who don't want to hear about that as well. So stay
Have you
tuned for
seen the
that.
scans of them yet?
I haven't seen the physical scans yet.
It it's gas. I gotta
I
stop
bet.
saying gas, but
I
it's gas.
Well, wait. Are you talking about the flashback one or the one after that?
What do you mean? Oh yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
the
Sorry, yeah, yeah. The one after that.
Okay, cool. No, I haven't seen that then. Okay, cool. Yeah. So that is actually a pretty big drop
Mm.
for JJK, and a pretty big drop for the next one we got going here too. At number 6, we got Tokyo Revengers with 82,963 copies. Again, I think that this is sort of similar to My Hero, where it's a lot of people buying the new
Yeah,
volume
yeah,
that came out, which honestly, for a volume that came out, I think like a month ago, pretty good.
yeah. It's
And that
still
volume
pretty good.
covers 6, so I don't really blame people for buying that. And I think it might have had a box set that came out as well recently, which might
Ooh.
be propping it. Um, then we got a couple of Cuckoos at number 5 with 83,887. I believe this is an anime that's coming out right now, right?
Yeah, I think
One of the more I think it's one of the more popular
I'm pretty
seasonals.
sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Couple of Cuckoos. Let me look this up real quick. Couple of Cuckoos is it's currently showing on
Yeah.
Crunchyroll. Let me go ahead and get a description for this. Nagi Umino and Erika Amano, a studious high school student and a social media star, had nothing that linked them together until they found out they were swapped at birth. When the sudden news is revealed, cuckoos, because cuckoos are the bird that
Yep.
puts
Yep.
their
Yep.
eggs in other people's nests. Cuckoos. When the sudden news is revealed to both of their families, their parents quickly devise a proposition with not either Nagi nor Erica's knowledge. In order to restore them to both their rightful families and ensure everyone's happiness, the two should get engaged. When informed of this, Nagi and Erica are quick to reject the absurd plan, refusing to go along with their parents' wishes. But with neither party willing to back down, only time can tell where their relationship will go. And this only has like 2 episodes out, actually.
That sounds kind of good, honestly.
Yeah, I might actually go check this
Yeah.
out. If it was one of the first seasonals that had like 8 or something out, I might have just not
Same.
bothered. But
Same.
with only 2 episodes out, like that's 45 minutes of my time.
It's easy.
So not super worried about. Or I don't know. Sorry, I just got a random text.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah. At Past that, at number 4, we got good old Fire Force at 88,148, and honestly, not. Well, okay, kind of surprised here actually. Maybe the the final volume just
That's what.
dropped, and
That's what I was thinking.
I think that's the cause of this. Because I don't know. We don't see Golden Kamuy on here, and that ended more recently. And yeah,
Probably.
so
It
I guess
definitely
that
will
the
be
new
on there.
volume, the final volume
Yeah.
of Fire Force dropped, or maybe people are trying to finish their collection, possibly
Could be
as
either.
well.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm happy for it though.
Oh, of
I liked
course.
Fire Force. The ending was pretty solid in my opinion. It had some aspects of it that could have been done better. Um, but I liked it a lot, and I think that as far as shonen goes, it has one of the better shonen endings of the current generation. At number 3, we got Blue Lock selling 133,222 copies. Not really surprised here. Blue Lock, it just it sells like hotcakes. Honestly, I'm
It
surprised
does.
it's not on the. We haven't seen more of its like domination. It was before the pod started. If you were keeping up with charts, it was doing insanely well right
Yeah.
before the anime was announced, and then like when the anime was announced, it kind of dropped off a bit. I felt
Which is
weird.
surprising.
But once the anime like releases, which I believe it might release like next month actually.
No idea. I haven't kept up with the news on that.
I don't know, but
Whenever it does release, there'll be another
it
big
is
jump.
releasing this year. It is going to be huge. It'll be doing Spy Family
Yeah.
numbers probably. Speaking of, at number
Speaking of,
two, we got not Spy Family. We got Uma Musume Cinderella Gray, which is currently, I believe, the most popular thing running in Weekly Young Jump after Golden Kamuy left, or besides like Oshinoko
yeah,
maybe. Um, Basically, Horse Girl spin-off manga. I've heard pretty solid things about it. I need to actually watch the Horse Girl show and or maybe read this because Uma Musume. I don't know if you know this, Parf. It sells whenever the DVDs or Blu-rays of it comes out. It outsells like it
I
outsold the
know.
last Evangelion movie
It's
in
it has an
Blu-ray
insane fan
sales.
base.
Yeah, it is like the most popular
I mean,
DVD
people like their
series or
horse girls,
Blu-ray
man.
series in Japan for sure.
Japan loves horse girls. What can we say?
Yeah, those horses be racing. And then Parf, I'll just let you guess what number one was because I think
It's
no, to know
it's
this is
so hard.
yeah.
It's so hard.
What could it be?
Shit. Obviously, it is Naruto.
Yeah, obviously.
Spy Family.
Yep, we got Spy Family at number one once again.
No
I mean,
surprise. No
it's
surprise.
been this way every week since the anime has come out. I'm pretty sure it in a massive leap above the next one in line. It sold 390,864 copies. A slight slowdown from where it was before,
Mm.
but nothing to sneeze at either way.
Oh, definitely not.
I believe that Volume 1 is past 2 million copies sold at
I
this
think
point,
yeah, I
and
think I
Volume
heard something
2 is
about that.
breaching that. It's incredible. I don't see this hype train slowing down for a second until
I don't either.
weeks after the anime is over with, honestly. So, or until something bigger comes
Yeah,
and knocks
and
it off its pedestal, which probably won't be for a while. I can't think of anything that has a
neither can I.
chance.
Neither can I. Not at least not right now.
Yeah. So, Parf, obviously a big part of what is pushing manga sales today is like good anime adaptations.
Yes. Yes.
I think in general, most people are starting to kind of see anime as like both its own medium
Hmm.
and as well as like in the West, especially, people are starting to realize that it is meant to be kind of an advertisement for the manga a lot
Oh,
of the
big,
time.
big time. Yeah.
Um, so I guess my question is like, is there any show that or manga rather that you haven't been seeing in our top 10 that you think could use that boost and would get one if it had a good anime adaptation? Because there's one for me that we've both read parts of that comes to mind.
Um. That's so. I know we've talked about this before.
I feel like while you're thinking about
Yeah,
it, I'll
yeah,
just
yeah.
go ahead and say I feel like Frieren would be huge,
That's
even
true.
more huge if it got an anime adaptation.
I think Frieren would, if it got a good one, because I'm afraid with a show like that they're gonna
Hmm.
want to use CGI, because anytime there's something like fantastical, a
Yeah,
lot of production companies want to use CGI, and
that's
sometimes
very
CGI is
true,
good,
especially
but
with monsters.
but all the time with monsters, all the time. So, but if they got it done well, I think it would it would be so good. It would actually be so good.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a big part of the recipe for Spy Family success too. Is it's just so like credit to Wit Studios, of
Yeah.
course, but I feel like they picked such a good anime to adapt because like you don't have to worry about like weird CGI monsters and stuff like that. You just have to focus on making
Hmm.
like the movement look good and the character designs pop because of like it speaks to both the capability of wit as a studio when it comes to adapting stuff, as we saw
Yeah.
last season with Ranking of Kings as
Yeah.
well. And it also speaks to the creator of Spy Family and how he made something that just translates to an animated medium so fantastically.
It's it's just anime done right. Or
Yeah,
I guess I should say manga done right.
adaptations
Yeah.
done right.
I mean, I think my go-to answer, just off the top of my head, and it's mainly because I just got something. I just got a piece of merch related to this, but Berserk needs a good anime
Yeah, no, that
adaptation.
you're right about that.
It
You're
just
100% right about that.
the fact that it's because it's really popular, um, and yet
I mean, it's yeah.
it's just not getting any.
I mean, 1997 is like
I
okay.
love the 1997
I like a
thing,
lot of
but
parts about it, but
they
it needs
skip
a
some
we
stuff
need
too.
a Hunter x Hunter
Yes,
2011
exactly,
for
exactly.
Berserk.
Um, I think that would just make it skyrocket if people saw an anime of it. But like, I don't think we're ever getting that. I'm gonna be real honest. I don't think we're ever getting that. Maybe not in our lifetime.
Do you think like they could? What about like a good?
I'd
What
fuck
about
with
like
the
a
Vagabond.
movie or something? Like a good movie? Do you think they could do that?
Yeah, they could do a movie, but
Pacing might be a bit weird.
yeah, I wouldn't mind a
Yeah.
movie either. But if it happens, this is another discussion topic. I'd like Vagabond too. I think Vagabond could do well.
Who would you want to do to do it? You know who I think might be
I,
not bad at.
I'll
I
you
think
go first. I got
David
mine.
honestly
You
does really
motherfucker.
good
I was
adaptations.
about to say David. I was about to like David. It's gotta be. Yeah, I because obviously we're both fans of JoJo. They've done JoJo and they've done Fire Force. Uh,
And they did both of them pretty right,
they
I
yeah
think.
yeah.
The
So
first season of Fire Force was iffy, but to be honest with you, that I don't like Fire Force looked fantastic the entire time. It's like the subject matter that was iffy. It was iffy in the manga as well. That wasn't
yeah.
an anime thing, I'm sorry to say. No, I agree though. David is in my opinion they current when it comes to like the big names, like big name manga, they currently do the best adaptations. I don't think anybody would have
Uh,
adapted JoJo as well as they did.
no, I fully agree. Uh, I mean sometimes they do take the easy way out. I mean you see that in part 6 with the background characters being
Yeah,
but like
and the backgrounds too,
I
in
mean
general.
that's kind of like that in the manga. So
Fair.
it's I mean I didn't have that big of a problem with it if I'm being
No, I
honest.
enjoyed it well enough.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
yeah,
they could do Berserk well because they do the dark parts of JoJo really well. Um,
yeah. The only
so
thing I would say is like the censoring for Berserk might get insane based
uh,
on how JoJo is, because
that would be true. That's true.
like JoJo, a lot of the time when there's just gore, you just get like that big like black
Yeah,
mark on their
my
body to cover up the gore, or like when Jotaro is
yep.
smoking
I
the
was about to say
cigarettes and
that.
his
I just have
entire
you seen
face
that
is
one?
blank because
Yep.
he's a minor.
No, that I fully agree there. That would be iffy, but I mean,
My first time through watching that, I was like, "Why are they doing this?" And then like I realized it was like, "Oh yeah, it's because
yeah,
he's like 16 years old and they can't show a minor smoking cigarettes,
it's it's
despite him being massive."
yeah. I, if they didn't censor it, yeah, I think they do a great job. If they did censor it, yeah, people would be
Well,
in
but even
uproar.
in like I don't know, with JoJo's you can buy the Blu-rays and get it
Yeah, I
uncensored,
was
you
gonna.
know.
Yeah,
I'm probably
uh,
about to actually next time I get paid, I think I'm gonna go buy the Part 4 Blu-rays and watch that
it
uncensored.
uncensored is really good. It really is.
I
I mean,
Part 4 is my favorite in general, and I
I mean
haven't seen it uncensored, so
that's
I
just
need
having
to.
good. That's just called having good taste.
Yeah, I just there's something about hearing crazy, noisy, bizarre town that just gets me in
It,
a
it
fucking.
My alarm in
I could
college,
rant about JoJo's
dude.
Part 4 all day,
My alarm in
honestly.
college was the Morio Town radio.
That's a good one to have, though,
It
dude.
was. I don't have it anymore because I updated my phone and I can't. I don't remember how to put it on my phone. And I'm too lazy to look it up. But
I
it was
love
so delightful to wake up to that.
the feeling of Part 4, just that small town, like, comfy
Yep.
vibe with, like, even with the murders going on and stuff, like,
It's
I don't know,
it happens.
I like the lower stakes there are to it. I
Hmm.
like not every manga or anime needs to be like them fighting a world destroying entity is basically where
Yeah.
I'm going with this. Sometimes the best like
It's just a
limits
small town
breed
killer.
creativity.
S-
And also for you power scalers out there, if you can put your character into JoJo's Part 4 and he would be unbalanced, he's not street level. There you go. That everybody in that story is street level. If your character would fuck up the balance in JoJo's Part 4, he ain't street level.
you know,
Sorry.
true.
I see a lot of power scalers on the timeline probably because like, I'm a degenerate and I have no self-control. So I comment and like shit,
It
but
happens.
fuck. Said to say that. Uh I guess next we can kind of guys, we were supposed to drop a mini episode last week, but it was so hellishly busy we didn't get a
Yeah.
chance to. It was going to be us talking about the series and Weekly Shonen Jump that we were catching up on. So we're going to go ahead and just talk about like essentially me and Parf kind of divvied up the current TOC of Shonen
Yeah.
Jump, which we'll also get into in a sec.
Hmm.
And we've been catching up with them slowly but surely. And we're gonna give a kind of a review of the ones we've been reading and which ones we like and which ones we're not messing with. And I think Parf had an important message to talk about with this, so I'm gonna let him go ahead and
All
go
right.
first. Take it away, my boy.
P. Hereafter being referred to as P6. Fuck that. It's so bad. I would rather cover my whole body head to toe with honey and sit on a fire ant hill than read that. I mean that's a bit far, but I don't like the art style at all. I think it's too strange.
It reminded me of Yu-Gi-Oh! Looking at the
Yeah,
covers, honestly. Like that specifically that one character in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds with
yeah,
like the
I know what you're
spiky
talking
blue
about.
hair.
Yep. Uh, like
Not 5Ds, GX.
yeah,
That one.
GX.
My bad.
Um, I don't. The premise feels like like they took a bunch, like the creator took a bunch of they read a bunch of manga and just mashed together. Oh, he's from an elite family. Oh, but he's going to a school where there's music tournaments. Oh, it's all based around this. Oh, the highest grade of all nations come to it. Oh, and let me tell you, he's not good at music, but he can feel music. He has the power to make you feel your memories through music. It's like this feels like he read Food Wars, watched Your Lie in April, and just took some basic elite family story and mashed it all together. Like, I didn't enjoy it at all.
So that's gonna be a not recommended from you for
7 out of 10
P6.
masterpiece.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
No, I don't recommend it at all. No, it's not for me. I'm sure it's for some people, not for me, and I'm so upset Ayashimon got axed and P6 didn't get axed. God, I could go
That,
on.
damn, dude.
It just,
That is sad, honestly.
I'm
I'm going.
sure it has its, audience, but it just isn't for me.
Okay. So,
On a lighter note,
next up, we got for me, I read motherfucking Earthchild. And Earthchild, I think there are a couple lessons that can be learned from reading Earthchild. One, if you're a one shot and people like your one shot and they offer you a serialization, and this is something that can be learned from I believe the author of Ruri didn't immediately take their
mhm.
serialization when they got either. They waited like 5 years or something for it. It might be the Aliens area guy. But Earthchild starts off as a fantastic one shot about like a guy who gets saved by a superhero, gets his memories erased because he like meets her essentially,
Hmm.
but remembers her because he basically he fell in love with her and goes and finds her and they have a romance. It's really solid actually, like his love for her and everything. But then they continue it and they have like a child and stuff. And they talk about how there can only be one Earth child, but then at one point there are like three Earth children alive in the story at once.
What the
And then
fuck?
his wife dies, but like she dies in the well, no, sorry, that was out of order. She dies like in the second or third chapter, which is very sad. Leaves him with the baby. But then something tells me that the mangaka was told, no, stop. Everybody was really fucking with that romance. And then he was like, okay, actually, her psychic powers fused her with the with the asteroid she destroyed. So now she is, she's Cars at the end of JoJo's Part Two. Literally, she is literally Cars at the end of JoJo's Part Two, but floating around in space and with the love that her and her husband have combined with the psychic connection that her and the baby have, they have a three-way telepathic
Okay,
connection.
thank you for. Sorry, the three-way scared me for a moment.
Yeah, I get you. It gets revealed that the Earth children are aged, like when they're born, they get immediately aged like 10 years up with a special surgery, but they forget about that for a while. He meets another former Earth child named, I don't remember what his name is exactly, but what you need to know is he is very European. Like they go out of their way to show how European this guy is. Uh, and honestly, he's pretty cool. His whole thing is like he talks about how he's the main character, even though he's obviously not the main character.
Oh, I love a character like that.
And
To be quite
his
honest.
backstory is pretty interesting. Like the reason he believes that is because his like older brother. So Earth children are fated to fucking die. Is their whole thing. They always die, and then when they die, it's like the Avatar. When they die,
Yeah.
a new Earth child gets born at some point. And his brother was a scientist who was looking for a way to stop the Earth children from like always dying. And eventually, his brother like he gets sent on a mission to go like stop a black hole that's forming like under the earth,
Hmm.
and somehow his brother is there, and his brother like he has like a bomb he has to throw into it but it'll kill him, and his brother's like nah actually, and runs past him and grabs it and like does like the backwards jump like wave by into it. And apparently the force of the black hole was so strong that it ripped part of the side character's heart out, but like his brother's heart like attached to it,
Yo,
and
this
it's
this
his
shit
body
wild.
is like rejecting it. His body is rejecting his brother's heart, so he lives with constant pain and terrible fevers and stuff. Anyway, so they go to space to go and because their idea is that they're gonna like try and get the baby to pull his mom down with his psychic
Hmm.
powers, and they go to space and they have you ever watched The Simpsons and like are you a Simpsons fan?
I used to be, yeah.
They meet the manga equivalent of Frank Grimes, who hates the main character because she was an astronaut who hates Earth children because they get to go to space without working for it. And then she meets a normal guy who got to go to space because he knew an Earth child,
What the
which is
fuck?
honestly like pretty fucking funny. And they're in space for two chapters, and they're like, "Guys, I know." And then the main character's like, "Guys, you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I got an idea. We need to go back down to Earth, even though we spent millions of taxpayer dollars on coming to space. We got, and it took us 2 whole days to float up here. We got to go back down to Earth and meet my in-laws." So my son can get to know his mom better through them.
What the
And then
fuck?
they go and meet the in-laws. He basic their memories have also been erased and filled with false memories because of the age 10-year age process or whatever. And he gets them to fucking remember some shit like their actual daughter and the truth about the Earth Child program. The fucking weirdly hostile director has like a heel turn where he like wants to change the organization that manages the Earth Children, even though he was like threatening to like gun down the fucking
What the
main
fuck is
character like an
happening?
animal in the street before. Earthchild is an example of what happens when you don't know what the fuck you want to do with your manga and keep changing the plot every 2 chapters. Like, the designs in it are fun. The
That sounds like a fever
premise
dream.
was there with the romance and everything, but like, it's just so. It's flippy floppy. Like,
Yeah.
every other chapter is changing up what is. It's like what's directly in front of them gets changed up, basically. And I don't understand what the hell they're gonna do whenever they get the mom back eventually, because it seemed like they were gonna. It was gonna be like a whole series of him raising this child to get him to an age to where he could go and get the mom, but
Yep.
they're doing it ASAP. So I don't know, man. I just don't know. Yeah, I for now I would not recommend Witch Watch. Is what I'm gonna say.
Which watch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not Witch Watch.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
was
I was
gonna
looking at.
say.
I was looking at some charts. For now, I would not recommend Earthchild. Witch Watch is like right next to
Yeah.
Earthchild on the fucking chart. Uh, yeah. What else did you read?
I don't know if this is how it's pronounced, but Mashley, maybe.
Oh,
The magic one.
Mashla. I've heard people call it Mashley, actually, weirdly enough.
Goddamn.
But
Mashley.
I would say Mashal because it's meant to be a portmanteau of magic and muscle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I like this one a lot. I like it. I'm happy I liked it too because I have a volume of it.
Nice.
I think it is. I'm trying. It is when you throw Asta into Black Clover, except he actually doesn't have any magic. Asta has no magic. The fucker has magic. Okay,
I've
it's
heard
anti
One Punch
magic.
Man comparisons
Yeah,
for Mashal.
it would be like that. It's like One Punch Man. It's like a buff Asta with no magic. It's just a guy who worked out a lot as a kid.
How would you describe the main character? Because that's the one
Oh,
thing that I've
Saitama.
had. Like, what? Huh?
He's like Saitama, except
Okay. Is he like kind of like
he's
quiet?
he's buff, quiet,
Stoic.
stoic. He takes things very literally, and then but he's also like
He's kind of like a gag lead character,
yeah,
you would say.
at least in the starting chapters, yeah. In the first chapter, his dad his dad's not like it's his foster father, but so his dad's like,
Hmm.
um, oh, I told this kid to work out so he could protect himself. Now he's a super buff kid. I didn't mean to work out every day, and so like he's been working out every single day since he was
Literally
a baby.
doing
Yeah.
the One Punch
Yeah.
Man thing.
Exactly. So it's just
Awesome.
funny. I enjoyed it as a great entrance exam because like everybody, so like it's in a whole society where magic is the hierarchy, which
Mhm.
you can obviously draw comparisons to Black Clover and other manga, but I think
Yeah.
this one is different because it looks a little bit more modern, and I think it's just better art.
I mean, the obvious comparison is like Harry Potter
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah.
Like, yeah.
And so
I've even seen the like uniforms they wear kind of Harry Potter-esque,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah, it's definitely has its comparisons in a bunch of other forms
Yeah.
of literature, but
Which is fine.
it's fine.
Everything
No.
takes inspiration, like,
I
from
mean,
other things.
Yashimon, for instance.
Yeah, literally.
But so he obviously has no magic, so and their whole idea is, oh, if you got no magic, you gotta go. You're banned from society. So that's why his father trained him, and then some cop guy, I forget his name, finds him. They're gonna banish him, but it's like, oh, magic doesn't work on him. He's just that strong. So he takes the kid to become a senior magic knight so he can get all the money while the guy, I forget his name because I read so many new manga this week, but I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He is taken and he's getting the chance to live in society now because he's got a fake scar and everything, and they're gonna try to cheat the system with him. I think it's good. I think it's a great concept. I think it's funny. I always like the gag league character, and I think there's a lot of potential.
Oh yeah, I've been meaning to pick this up
I
too. Honestly,
I want to say it only has 100 so chapters.
Tyler's been big on this for sure for a while. I think Lynn also enjoys Mashua as well. So I want to check this out honestly. And if it only has like 100 or so chapters, I think that'll be next up on my list after
Yeah,
Sakamoto
it definitely
Days.
should be Mashal, pronounced Mashal because of the muscle magic.
Muscle Magic,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I
it has
thought. And then
108 chapters, which is insane that it has volumes out because not a lot get volumes at only 108 chapters.
they've been going pretty bit hard on doing volumes, like as
Yeah,
soon as something can get volumes to see how well it sells. Like Ayashimon had a volume at like 13, but also then again, it's also Hell's Paradise creator, so might have something to do with it.
yeah, true.
And the other one I caught up with was which I say caught up, but it only has like 4 chapters. I started reading a Super Smartphone, which, you know, this was something nobody was excited for, I feel, and I think it actually has a pretty dope premise. Basically, guy gets like an alien smartphone that, okay, we don't know if it's an alien, but it's heavily implied to be an alien. I
Okay.
think it is. He gets like a crazy smartphone that like can access all of the world's information, including like
Yeah.
private emails, letters, shit like that. And he gets points for doing stuff with it. And basically, if he gets to a certain amount of when he gets to certain amounts of points, he unlocks new stuff with
Hmm.
new things he can use with it. He wants to find what happened to his younger brother who disappeared years before he got the smartphone, but the phone realizes that he'll stop using it after that and blocks him from it. And if he
Jesus.
gains I believe there's a competition that gets introduced where there are other smartphone users as well, and whoever gets to a certain amount of points first gets to keep their smartphone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's honestly
Interesting
I've
concept.
really been enjoying it. It's pretty mature for the premise. Like it sounds like it would be very childish, but it's solid. Art style was pretty good. I think I would actually definitely recommend it, and I think it's maybe one to keep an eye on actually,
Hmm.
because spoiler alert, based on the table of contents, it's not doing that badly.
Spoiler.
Um, and then I also started reading Sakamoto Days again.
Yep.
This is something that I've been telling people to read for a long time, without actually like reading it. Sadly, I just haven't had a lot of time, and I'm catching up on it now. I'm like 20 or so chapters in. It's only got like 75 chapters. Really enjoying it. The character design really good. I love both designs of Sakamoto, both his skinny form and his fat form, and I'm just a sucker for telepathy gags, honestly. So that does it for me. I love it. Did you catch up on anything else, or did you just do two like me?
Uh, I read the first chapters of all the not the first chapter, first two chapters of all the bottom ones.
Oh, dang. So okay, we can talk about it a bit more in the table contents because we're running a bit up
We
on
are,
time
yeah, we
right now.
are.
So I'm just gonna quickly go over the table of contents for Shonen Jump issue 26. All
Hmm.
right. So lead cover, lead color page, and a 20-page chapter. We've got me and Roboco for its anime
Yep.
announcement. Uh, we actually didn't talk about that, but Roboco's getting an anime.
Yes.
It's basically Jap. Oh, got the hiccups. Jeez.
I fucking
It's
hate the
basically
hiccups.
Japanese Family Guy. Uh, relies on a lot of gags. It's a gag manga through
Yeah.
and through, obviously. All the volume covers are like parodies of other famous manga volumes. Like the most recent one was an Oshinoko parody of the famous cover of Ai going like
Yeah, yeah, I
this.
saw that. Yeah, which I love. I love that.
Yeah, and yeah, solid. Really, really, that I should give it a chance. Honestly, I know most people on Twitter don't fuck with it because Twitter just hates gag manga unless it's action based for the most part. But I'll give it a shot. At number one, we got One Piece. Not surprised at all there. It's the workhorse of the magazine for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Jujutsu Kaisen at number two. Again, not surprised there. It's the most
No,
popular new gen. Sakamoto Days at number three. You love to see it, like I said. It's been doing work.
love to see it.
Uh, people just really enjoy this. I need to. I will be catching up very shortly. Got My Hero Academia at number 4. Um, Again, not really surprised here. It's going through its final arc. It's very popular. It's gonna
Yep.
be in the top 4 pretty much its whole time.
Yeah.
Then we've got the Elusive Samurai at number 5, getting a color page. Akane Banashi at number 6, doing great as usual. It got a color page. It's getting color page in the
Yeah.
next one,
Next.
I believe. We got Witch Watch, battle supernatural battle shonen that I really need to catch up on because I've heard pretty decent things
Same.
about it.
I almost watched not watched read that.
Super Smartphone at number 7, doing really well for a new series. Happy to see it, honestly. I hope it continues to do well. We got a one shot called Nande Nandas on next up. Mashal is getting a color page after that. Then we have Blue Box, Mission, Yozakura Family. P6 also getting a color
Fuck
page,
that.
but it has moved down a couple slots anyway. High School Family, Earthchild after that.
Mhm.
And then in the bottom 4, we have Undead Unluck, Duraron, Protect Me Shugamaru, and Ayashimon is ending as usual. Sad.
Very.
Bottom 4, like we said, that's just how it is. So you said you read the page a couple chapters.
First two chapters each. Yeah.
How are you feeling about those? Can you see why they're at the bottom based off of just the first 2?
I actually liked Protect Me Shugamaru. I can see why it's not for people. It has its charm, but
Oh, for Protect Me Shugamaru, by the way, you have to go online if you read chapter 8 because they fight a giant penis. That's all I gotta tell you.
what the what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I'm so serious.
That's okay. Now I hope it doesn't end.
I'm surprised they didn't do that with Ayashimon in
Yeah.
the chapter before last because they had a giant sack. But it's fine.
Ayashimon, I can't see why it's ending. At
I-
least from those 2 chapters.
Japan just did not fuck
Yeah.
with the
I think it's
main character.
straight gas. I don't know how to pronounce it. Duraron. I can see why it's not doing well.
Yeah, I've heard it's.
It's
I haven't heard anybody say it's anything special.
it's your
That's the thing.
typical. I mean, not to compare. Like I did say, oh, Mashal is a guy with no powers, but it's like the same thing. Guy with no powers wants to be a guy with powers, finds a special item that gives him powers, and they make a pact to fight monsters. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Seen this before. And then Undead Unluck, I've read more than 2 chapters. Almost caught back up. I don't know why it's when it's in the bottom 4. Cannot tell you why.
Yeah, I don't know either because it has had some pretty good. Like it's had some good showings and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. I don't know, man.
The only one I understand is Duraron.
Yeah. So, sadly, I think that is about all we have
Yep.
to talk about this week. Honestly, pretty big week for manga, especially Weekly Shonen Jump. And honestly, I'm happy. Like
I'm still.
you
yeah.
take the bad with the good, and I love Yuji Kaku. I wish him all the luck in his next project. And but sadly, I think that Hunter x Hunter coming back it outweighs Ayashimon.
We had to
ending for
trade a
me.
Yashimon for Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And you know what? I don't think Yuji Kaku wouldn't trade that either. If I'm
I
being
mean,
honest with you,
It's
so
good, man.
I wish that man all the best of luck in his life and in his next project because I love Hell's Paradise and I really enjoyed Ayashimon as well from what we got out of it. So hopefully he gets to do something dope, or
Yeah, I
even
agree.
gets to work on a dope series as even like an assistant or something like that.
I agree.
Maybe. Yeah. So that is going to do it for this chapter of the Manga Melee podcast. If you want to find us on Twitter, you can find us at Manga Melee Pod, all one word. If you want to follow me on all social media, I'm at Shard Based, as in like a shard of glass, and based as in Lil B the Base God.
It's true.
If you want to find Parf, you can find him nowhere. He does not want to be perceived.
It's true. It's so true.
Um, Yeah, come join us on Discord in the Bros Who Think
Of course, of
server.
course.
You can find that on at Bros Who Think on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a follow as well for our other podcast. Go listen to Anime Talk. Go listen to What Do You Say Anime, where I'm a pretty average or consistent contributor on that. Some might say I'm the highlight of the show.
I would.
So yeah, just have a good week, guys. Remember when you're
Celebrate.
feeling down that Hunter x Hunter is back, and that's really
Anything
all
can
that
happen.
matters.
If Hunter x Hunter
Yeah,
can come back, anything can happen.
if Tagashi can come back after everything, so can you. So
Beautiful.
have a good week, and that'll do it for us. Peace.
Peace.